Hello, welcome to Wild West Garage. My name's Morgan. That is the 1950 Chevy cab, and these are the fenders. So in this video we're going to be, well, not we, I guess you can help by watching, I guess. So we're going to tackle these fenders, or at least one of them. So I'll turn the camera around and do a little survey of this fender here. All right, this is the driver's side fender, and as you can see, it's got a substantial dent in it right there. Another one right there. I'd say that's substantial as well. And I'll get a straight edge here and hold it across that. You can really see how clobbered it is. So yeah, that's pushed in a good couple inches anyways. Fit my whole hand in there. And then of course that's supposed to be kind of rounded out, so it's, you know, it's easily 2 inches. This one here is about an inch of depth. So that's the two main dents. And then there's something going on here, I guess. Must have been pushed on the bottom and it kinked this up here. There's a pretty good kink there. I'm not too worried about that. And then there's a bunch of small dents down here, or smaller. There's a dent there, and then another kink right here. And then the the wheel opening is all wavy. And then right here, where the brace bolts on, there's a flange back here, and I guess because when this got pushed in, the brace was holding it out, so it actually pushed the fender out here a little bit. There's another little crease there, and then the bottom of the fender, it's all broken up. And here, I'll just lay it down on front side here, so you can see there's actually a chunk missing, which I'm not too concerned about. I mean, I can make panels. Then of course it's got all this crappy undercoating on the inside. I scraped a little bit of it off by hand with a screwdriver, rather. But anyways, so you might be thinking that, you know, why would you want to fix this fender? And actually I haven't got to that yet. But I am going to fix this fender. I just looked online, and a new one is, you know, I think the cheapest one I found was $460 US, up to like $560. So, okay, that's US money, so I convert that to Canadian currency. If you stick with 500, it's going to be 600 by the time I pay for it. No, it'll be 550 roughly. $550, $560 Canadian. And then shipping probably be a couple $100. So now we're up to $750. And then it's aftermarket stamping. It may or may not fit properly, so I'll have to mess around with it to make it fit. So by the time it's all said and done, you know, it might stand me $900. So if I can fix this fender up in a couple days, why not? So it's not rusted out. It's actually amazingly solid. There's a few weird things, like these holes are all slotted out to make it fit the cab, I guess. And I don't know if that was done at the factory or after or what, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was done at the factory, just considering how poorly built the cab was. There's some issues with the cab. So anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna go at it. So I thought I'd be able to just stand on this and it would come out, but it's super strong. So I gotta take some more extreme measures. Actually looks pretty good. I'll do a little bit more of that. And, see what we get. So there's not really much point in trying to straighten this wheel opening up because there's a crack here and a crack here, so that's just going to keep, you know, it's not going to stay. So I'll have to weld that up first, and I can work with it.
Yeah, so just put a piece here.
So other than that busted up mess down there, so in 17 minutes and 23 seconds, this fender has gone from pretty bad to not too bad. So it's gone from something that looks like it really wasn't worth fixing to something that looks like it's worth fixing now. So, you know, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of picking and filing to go on here. There's quite a ridge there, but you know, it's not going to be bad. I think I could probably, you know, just once I get this cleaned up and start sanding on it and highlighting the damage, it'll go pretty quick. I got a planishing hammer, I can run over that and smooth it all out. And then it'll just be a matter of, you know, slowly stitching this back together here. I'll work my way down until I got all this stitched back together. And then I'll have to make a piece for the bottom here. I have the other fender, which is more or less intact. I can work from that, so shouldn't be too bad. So another, you know, a day's work on this thing, and it'll be pretty good. All right, battery was starting to die, so I had to take the warp speed off, and I've just been working on this thing a little bit off camera. Sorry about that. But anyways, it's really starting to come around. This is, you know, it's not perfect yet, but it's really getting there. And I was tired of struggling with that stand, so I built this little thing just out of junk, an old sawhorse. Works really well. So anyway, way past dinner time. My wife sent me a text an hour ago saying dinner was ready, so I guess I better go eat. So I just have to jump over onto this fender for a little bit here because I want to repair this lower section of the fender. It's in reasonably good shape. It's not rusted out. It's really solid. They're not really even showing any signs of any significant rust at all, except it's a little bit beat up and it's broken right here. So I'm just going to do this repair, hammer and dolly this out, and then I'm going to make some patterns off of this piece and reverse it all so I can make a patch for that fender. So I mean, most of that is still there, it's just all broken up. So I'm probably going to go make a patch about this wide for that fender, just to address all that jagged, broken stuff on the bottom. Just want to take you in for a little closer look at this. That's the cracked area there that I had to weld up. And I just wanted to point out something. So there's another crack right here. See that? So I'm quite certain, just judging by the way this all looks here, and this hunk of metal sticking out here, that crack was there right from the factory. The metal was torn here, and it just, you can see how this just kind of got moved up out of the way here. So I guess, yeah, because this would have had to shrink, right? So it looks like it overlapped, and then this just got pushed out of the way. So that's a factory defect right there. And that's, you know, that's part of the reason why these old trucks, you know, I guess the fenders break up on the bottom, because they come pre-cracked. But I mean, that's 70 years old, so that's pretty good. So anyways, this other fender, you know, it suffered, you know, not necessarily from factory damage, but just damage. I didn't realize until I got looking at this fender that it has this brace in here. So that's completely gone on the other one. So I'm going to weld this up, and then that'll be it as far as the welding goes, and then I'll get hammer and dolly on this. Okay, some more work to do, but I think I got it. I think I got it reasonable, to the point where, you know, even if I have to put a little bit of Bondo on it, but I think high build primer would probably take care of most of this. But anyways, that's probably as far as I'm going to take it. Just got to keep this to a reasonable standard and practical. You know, I'm not being practical on this part, so I got to be practical on this part. How's that sound? I do have to get this thing done, so so that's looking good. I noticed this is all rusted out here, so I'm gonna have to replace that. It's not going to be a big deal. But this fender is actually in really good shape. It's got a little kink there, but and some cracking issues down the bottom there. But that's nothing really. This fender is really nice. So anyways, I can make the patterns, get to work on the other fender now. So I'm just going to go ahead and start tacking up this big long crack here, and push some of this other stuff back together. I'm not going to worry about this too much because I'm going to cut most of this area off here. So get to work. All right, so I've got this all looking pretty good. There's just a bit of a lip there on the weld still. And right here a little bit more work right here. But I want to get this fender patch on here. So I'll just stitch that all together so I can work on this and wouldn't be flopping around. I'm going to cut this out up to where I ended the nice weld here. Go straight across. And actually notice there's an old repair here. See that? Somebody, looks like gas welding right there. That's kind of neat to find that. Looks like they did a pretty nice job. Didn't grind it or anything. They just painted right over it. But you know, it's just an old farm truck, so it's good enough, I guess. I think this is good enough. I like the patina on this thing. I like to leave it the way it is, but the customer wants it shiny, so you get a shiny truck. Anyway, it's cutting time. I almost don't think I need to refer to that other fender for this. It's not that big of a piece. There's enough reference there that I'll be able to make it go just from what I got. But that other fender needed to be fixed anyways. Notice these fenders are made out of a lot thicker material than the doors, which kind of makes sense. They're more vulnerable to damage sticking out from the side of the vehicle. And of course rocks flying up and denting them from the inside. So I think they're probably 18 gauge just by the look of this stuff. This is 18 gauge. Yeah, it's definitely easily the same thickness. So I would say that's what they are. Maybe not. I think the cab's 22 gauge and the fenders might be 20 gauge. Look at this. Of course, this is rusted. A little bit. So thinned out. It could be 18. Yeah, I think it is. Looks exactly the same thickness as this. Anyway, kind of irrelevant.
So?
bottom of this fender has a very soft radius to it. I guess I could just kind of, I can use this doodad here. Is that pretty close? Okay. So now I need to shrink this edge here to get it to curve around.
Trim this first. Pretty sharpie.
I think I'm gonna wheel this a little bit in here. Should have done that first, maybe. Probably should have made this longer because it's not really doing what I want it to do on the end here. Then I could have just cut it off. Maybe I didn't. Leave it long on that end. Bending it down here a little bit. Going in, I thought this would be real simple to make, but I almost think sometimes the smaller pieces more challenging than the big piece. I put a shrink on this edge, and that was a mistake. Not what I needed to do. that ought to work. Looks pretty good. Well, I don't think you could ask for a much better result than that. I don't know, what do you think? It's not all sanded out yet, but you know, it's feeling pretty good. Just a little bit of funny stuff there still, but you know, it's gonna be body worked, filled, primed, blocked, all that. So it's gonna pass that test, I think. Feels pretty good. Still got quite a bit of work to do up here with these creases, but I think that's going to be it as far as what I'm going to do on this fender in this video. So I took a $50 fender, well, a free fender, and I wouldn't have paid anything for this fender to begin with. And maybe we made it into a, I don't know, maybe a $200 fender at this point. Like I said, still needs work. I have to make the brace that goes in here. So we'll do that next. All right, there we go. That's as far as we're going to take this one. And you know, considering I initially rejected this fender as junk, I think it turned out pretty nice. And I'm really glad that I tackled it, because I thought it would take a lot longer than it did. So you know, it was a relatively rust-free fender, really. You know, if it hadn't been for that breakage down at the bottom, the cracking and the piece that fell out, this is a rust-free fender. So I mean, other than you know, the surface rust and the, you know, the scabs and stuff, but I don't consider that rust. It's not rust through, it's not rusted out. It's a salvageable item. So it still needs a bit of work, but I guess you'll either see me, at some point you'll see this fender down the road, either at some later stage of being finished, or you'll see it on the truck. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I learned something. I'm always learning things. This is a learn as you go thing here for me. Always is. Life's kind of like that. So anyways, thanks. See you next time.